In a small town in southern Texas, among dusty dirt roads and old wooden houses, lived the Millers, a mother and her teenage son. Mrs. Miller worked as a housekeeper and laundress for wealthy families, while her 17-year-old son, Ethan, was a bright but stubborn student. They lived in an old mobile home at the edge of the woods, where the dim light at night barely illuminated Ethan's study corner. Though poor, Ethan never stopped believing he was meant to do something greater. To his mother, however, a simple and peaceful life was more precious than any dream. She often told him, "Ethan, all you need is a steady job with a paycheck. Being poor but at peace is better than chasing distant dreams." Ethan would only smile. To him, stability was like a wooden cage, safe, but one that locked away ambition. One day, Mrs. Miller was hired to clean the home of Mr. Thompson, the powerful owner of a major construction company in town. While dusting the showroom, she accidentally broke an expensive antique vase. Furious, Thompson demanded she pay for it in full, forcing her to spend all the savings she had worked an entire year to earn. A few days later, exhausted and anxious, she fell ill. In her fever, she gripped her son's hand and whispered, "Ethan, go work in my place for a while. Just a few weeks, until I get better." Ethan remained silent for a moment, then looked at his mother's cracked hands and said softly, "I don't want to be a servant anymore. Mom, I'll earn money with my mind." He began small, buying duck eggs from nearby farms, hatching them, and selling ducklings online. He taught himself how to advertise, photograph his products, and keep meticulous notes for every sale. Every penny of profit went into a notebook, each entry building his belief that he could shape his own future. When the summer farmers' fair arrived, Ethan brought cages of ducklings to sell. He stood among long rows of stalls, wearing an old shirt but shining with quiet confidence. When customers came by, he eagerly explained how to care for each duckling. His prices fair and reasonable. People admired his sharpness and sincerity. Most left with both a duck and a smile. Then, a black luxury car stopped nearby. Out stepped Mr. Thompson, the wealthiest, most arrogant man in town. He picked up a duckling and smirked. "Aren't you the maid's boy? You're charging this much for a duck?" Ethan replied calmly, "Sir, that's a fair price. I don't sell my effort cheap." His composure enraged Thompson. The man threw the duckling down, ordered his guards to seize the cages, and had Ethan removed from the fairgrounds. Amid the murmuring crowd, Ethan stood still, eyes cold, lips pressed tight. Deep inside, a flame ignited, not of hatred, but of determination. That night, he came home with bleeding hands. His mother panicked, but Ethan only murmured, "Every scar is a lesson. Mom, I'll make them respect us, not through anger, but through what I become." He swore to defeat Thompson 3 times, not through violence, but through intellect. Months passed. Ethan managed to get hired as a temporary laborer at one of Thompson's construction sites, under a fake name. He quietly observed the chaos of the business: underpaid workers, stolen materials, corrupt managers. One afternoon, Thompson ordered Ethan to guide him to a newly purchased lumber site. Pretending to misunderstand the route, Ethan led the convoy deep into the swamp, where the road vanished. Before slipping away, he left a note on the dashboard. "Sometimes, the one who leads the way isn't the man in charge, but the one you once looked down upon." That was his first strike. Months later, Thompson's company suffered a data crisis, files lost, systems broken. By now, Ethan had graduated and become a skilled software engineer. Using a false identity, he offered his services to help fix the company's digital system. While repairing it, he uncovered records of financial fraud and embezzlement. He gathered the evidence and anonymously sent it to the local press. Within weeks, the scandal exploded across headlines. Thompson lost major contracts and his reputation crumbled. Ethan then used his technical skills to launch his own software company, one that helped small businesses detect fraud and protect their finances. It grew rapidly, earning respect throughout the state. That was strike number 2. 3 years later, Ethan was invited to speak at a statewide young entrepreneurs conference. By fate, Thompson, now a disgraced, struggling businessman, was also in attendance. giving a talk about honesty in business. When it was Ethan's turn, he stepped up to the podium, gazed directly at the man who had once humiliated his mother, and said, "Someone once told me I wasn't worth respect. But I'm not here to take revenge. I'm here to prove one thing: no one is born inferior. Only those who choose to look down on others make it so." The auditorium fell silent. Thompson lowered his head, eyes glistening. After the event, he approached Ethan and whispered, "I'm sorry, you've won." Ethan smiled gently. "No, sir, I didn't win against anyone. I only won over the fear of being nothing." From then on, Ethan became a symbol of perseverance and innovation. He founded a scholarship fund for underprivileged youth, naming it after his mother. As for Thompson, he moved to the countryside, living quietly and dedicating his remaining years to charity. At the opening ceremony of the first community center Ethan sponsored, Mrs. Miller held her son's hand and said softly, "See, Ethan, you still work for someone, but now, it's your own mind you work for." Ethan laughed. As the wind swept across the open fields, he replied, "I don't want revenge anymore, Mom. When you've grown strong enough, those who once hurt you no longer matter." Ethan's story isn't about vengeance, it's about awakening. It's about a poor boy who refused to be defined by pity, and who used his intelligence to rebuild both his dignity and his destiny. Its message is simple yet profound. No one stays poor forever if they dare to dream, to act, and to believe in the power of their own mind and kindness.